Jersey. And we got a couple of things to talk about, I guess. Got any? I can't see my phone, so I can't see if there's a chat going on. I'm trying.
You have one so far.
Ah, okay. It won't open. Why won't it open? Can you see the questions? I can't. If they're where they calling in from?
I can, yeah.
Tell me where you're saying where you're tuning in from.
So we got Ciao Bella with Happy Sunday to you and your family.
Hi, how are you?
We got Grammy's View from my window saying hello.
Oh, hi, Grammy. How
We got
are you?
Mysterious 7 chiming in from South Jersey.
Hi, everybody. I don't know why this won't play here.
We got Miss Cox saying hello.
Hi, Miss Cox. How are you?
Oh, we got Waterbury, Connecticut. I was just there. We got Lauren Johnson tuning in from Syracuse, New York.
Hi, Lauren.
Grammy's View from my window says, I miss you guys.
I miss you too, Tracy. Oh, I hope you're doing well.
Carlene Elliott says, hi, it's Carlene.
Hi,
it's
Carlene.
Your hippie friend from Richmond.
Hi, Carlene. I tried to find a hippie store for you, but I couldn't find one.
Jamie Norman says, hello from Pittsburgh, New York. Plattsburgh, New York.
Hi, Jamie. How are you?
Here we go.
The camera's off. The light is off. There we go.
My Enchanted Van Cotter says, hi, Renee, sending live. It's Julia.
Hi, Julia. How are you? No, Purple Renee.
Oh.
In case you guys wondering, that's my cousin Aisha in the background. She's going to ask some questions of me and try to get this live going. And I cannot seem to get my tablet to work.
I got from Shar Johnson. Hi, it's Mom.
Hi, Mom. How are you?
Jacqueline Munn says, hello, Renee from upstate New York.
Oh, another upstater. All right. How you doing? I'm glad you're here. I'm trying to get this live to play, but it's not playing so that I can see comments. This one is playing. No, a video was playing. Close it. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what's happening here. Why?
So my Enchanted Van Cotter says, hi, cousin. Hi, Aisha. Child Bella Van Scion says, Renee, I got my van. Now, finally, it's not going to be ready in time for Lulu meet. But hopefully I will meet you guys.
Oh, yeah. And there will always be another Lulu meetup. She loves doing the meetup, so you don't have to worry about that.
Grammy's View from my window says, so you back at home for a little busy?
I am not home yet. I have not yet made it home from Florida. I've been away from home since December 27th of 2024. And I probably will be going home next week sometime.
To God the glory always and forever said hi. And
hi. Yeah, Carla, let me use your. I can't see. There we go. Now I can see what's going on.
Put that up so you can look up at your camera too. Don't want to forget to do that.
Is this an iPad? I need to turn the volume down.
I think you just did.
All right. see what we got going on. Oh, Julia's saying hi to my mom. So my cousin Aisha had an idea for this live, and she was going to do kind of an interview with me. And this is completely unrehearsed. This is off the cuff. I don't have any idea what she's going to ask me, so we're going to have at it. Whenever you're ready.
Good. All right. So Renee, how long have you been on the road now?
I've been on the road a little over 2 years. I've been riding van camping.
That's amazing. So this is a perfect time to ask you some questions because now you have a little experience under your belt. So my first question is, when you started, what made you start?
Well, I was retired and I had nothing going on. It's always been a dream to travel. So I decided that I would get in my car and travel.
Awesome. Awesome. So when you got started, were you excited, nervous, or a little bit of both?
I was scared as hell. I was so scared. I was so scared. Driving is scary to me, just on roads that I'm not familiar with. So it was a scary thing. And I started my SUV. So the first thing I had to do was see if I could actually make a long distance drive. So my first year out, I drove my SUV to Florida. And I stayed with friends. I didn't do any van camping because the whole idea for me was to find out if I could make the drive. So once I figured out I could make the drive, then I started doing camping in my SUV, and until I lost the SUV and I had to get the van. And I've had the van just over a year.
Nice, nice. So now that you've been out on the road a couple of years, would you say it's your same reason, or do you have a newfound reason for why you do it?
I think it's still the same reason. I really like to just travel and see the sights and see what I can see. I'm not big on touristy places. The waterfalls and lakes and things like that is what I like to look at. So, there are touristy places everywhere. And I know I've done a little bit of touristy stuff, but I'd rather be in the woods somewhere, be by, a lake, or be by the beach. That's what I'd rather be doing.
That's beautiful. So when you first started your journey, was there anything specific that you were hoping to learn?
I just wanted to find out if I could actually do this living in the car. I wasn't sure if that was going to be possible.
Right. And at that time, what did you think your greatest challenge was going to be?
Going to the bathroom. Yeah.
And so have you overcome that challenge?
Oh yeah, piece of cake now. I got it down pat. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. All right, so now that we're talking about challenges, because we're also going to talk about some of the amazing things. Obviously, you've been doing this for 2 years, so there has to be some great things about it. But what would you say has been the biggest challenge for you now that you've got the bathroom thing down, but just the whole living on the road?
I'm still battling being afraid on the road.
Okay.
It's still a challenge for me. Heavy traffic is nerve-wracking to me. I mean, I can do it.
Right,
I do it.
Obviously.
I do it, but it really stresses me out. And I find at the end of a long ride, I'm exhausted and I have to go to sleep.
Right. You have to rest, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But so it sounds to me like you've definitely learned that even if I'm afraid of something, I can still do it.
I can still do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I can't let it stop me. I'll never get anywhere.
Right. Right. So if you were going to tell someone who was thinking about doing this, right? Like, I want to do this, but I don't know really what's in it for me, right? What would you say is like the number one thing for you that says this is why I do this? It's not just the traveling and the seeing things and all of that, right? But why this way of doing it? Why not fly to another country or something like that?
I can't see spending all that money to catch a flight to go somewhere that I can drive to.
Right.
I think getting there is the best part of the journey, making that drive and seeing the scenery along the way. I would much rather do that. And I discovered on this recent trip that I'm enjoying taking the back roads instead of getting on interstates.
Right,
Because you
right.
see so much more.
So much more.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What is the biggest thing that you've learned about Renee from the beginning till now? Like, what didn't you know about yourself that you know about yourself now?
Wow, that's
Because
kind
of
of
this experience.
that's kind of a tough one. I'm pretty good all by myself. I don't need a bunch of people around me. I tend to want to do what I want to do, you know. So when you're with a group of people, you tend to do what the group does.
Right, right.
And that's good. There's nothing wrong with that because, as you guys know, I've been traveling with a couple of people. So and everything about that was fine. We were together, but we were independent.
Right.
So we would still do our own things. We would, you know, when it was time to go grocery shopping, we went shopping. When it was time, you know, to go to Planet Fitness to take a shower, we didn't need to go as a group. We
Right.
could go one at a time whenever the mood struck us. So, and there were errands that we had to run. You know, it was just like living at home, except the house.
The bill.
Yeah, and the bills. Well, I still got bills, but I enjoy my me time. I
Right.
enjoy just doing things on my own and just seeing what I can see.
Right, right, right. When you compare this life to the life you had before of coming home to an apartment or a home every day and the rituals that go on with taking care of a home versus the different rituals that it takes to survive on the road, what's the biggest difference for you? Good or bad? Like the biggest difference is I love this, and the biggest difference is I don't like this.
I live in an apartment building and I have neighbors. I, you know, in my van, I don't really have neighbors in the traditional sense. We
Get
tend
right
to
away from them.
you tend to park in parking lots, or even if you're at a campground, nobody's like right next door. And like where I live, I mean, we're all in the same building, so I can hear them running around. I don't have to hear that when I'm in my van.
Right. So it sounds like living on the road offers a lot of independency, uh, quiet time, time to reflect on yourself.
Yes.
And some of these questions I'm asking you because I've had a little bit of that experience. And so, you know, people think, well, you're all alone, right? Like, isn't it lonely? But you live in New York, right? And so when you're out on that road, what is the silence and the quiet really like?
Oh gosh, it's so peaceful and so relaxing to me to not have the hustle and bustle of city life going on around me, fire engines and things like that. You know, you tend to hear that. I mean, I park in Cracker Barrel parking lots and things like that, but you know, you hear the traffic, but for some reason it's different. It's so different. Yeah, it's a different feeling if I am parked somewhere overnight and I hear a fire engine. Um, yeah, when I'm at home, I wonder whose house they're going to.
Right.
But on the road, I don't even think
It's not
about
coming
it.
to me.
Yeah,
that's all that matters.
it's not going to be anybody I know. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So one of the things that I notice is that, like, you know, a lot of times there's so many distractions or interruptions in our day-to-day life, right? Like, so if I wake up in a great mood, I could run into somebody in my own house that might throw my mood off. Do you find that being on the road and being by yourself, that if I'm in a good mood, I can maintain my own mood longer without so many people?
Oh yeah, 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 definitely. I've had days like that where I get up and I'm in a great mood, and then somebody comes along and ruins it. But in the van, there's nobody personal that you know that will come along and ruin it, and there's no everybody that you run into on the road is of no consequence really when it comes to your mood.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely understand where you're coming from with that, because there is that experience. Like, if I woke up in a good mood, it was completely up to me to change that mood because I may not interact with a person at
Right.
all during
Right.
the day. Yeah.
Right.
So now you also do meetups, right? So now you come into interaction with other people. What has it been like meeting people who have also taken the step to do this as well?
I'm going to tell you, it has been the most inspiring experience. I've met a lot of very inspirational women, and I can see some of their names here in the chat. And these women have incredible stories. They have overcome incredible things. They've raised their family. They've taken care of parents, spouses, all that kind of thing. They all have stories, and they all have some sort of talent in putting their vans together, or they have a skill, some other kind of skill, like they might play an instrument, they might be an artist. I've just met so many incredible people. And there was one woman I met who had done a lot of different things over the course of her life, and it was all very, very interesting. I could have sat and listened for hours to her stories about the things that she'd done in her life.
Right. Yeah. And had you ever had an opportunity to meet people like this before?
Not like this.
Yeah.
Not like this at all.
Yeah.
No.
So one of your viewers asked a question, and it had to do with food. And she says, what is your least favorite thing that you eat on the road, and what is your favorite?
My least favorite? I only eat foods I like, so I don't know. It's difficult to do salads on the road. I can say that. Just storing them and keeping them, that's kind of difficult. And I have a refrigerator. It's still difficult to keep salads. So I find doing salads, getting my salad supplies from the grocery store, I would have to do every 2 to 3 days, because I just can't find a way to store that.
Right.
And have it still be good when I'm ready to eat it.
Right. So since she brought up the topic of food, how do you eat on the road? You go out to restaurants every day, fast food, or you cook it yourself?
I prepare my own foods. I don't eat in restaurants. I don't know, a lot of you might already know, I'm diabetic, so restaurant food is never diabetic friendly. And so I'm trying to maintain my blood sugars. And so I prepare all my meals when I'm on the road.
And how do you do that?
I have a refrigerator, like I said, and I have a butane stove that I use to cook on. I have a Hot Logic. I have mini dashes that I use to cook on. And I have on my mini that I have lots of things, pots and pans that I can cook on while I'm on the road.
What is something that people might be surprised that you can make or cook for yourself while you're on the road?
Pizza.
Oh.
Yeah. I use the street taco size wraps as my pizza crust, and I put it in the My Mini, and then I make a little pizza, put the top on it. Good to go.
There's your mini pizza.
There's my mini pizza.
Wow. So there you have it, people. This is how you make pizza on the road.
Yeah.
That sounds so amazing.
There's been a video. So Lulu's got a video of Luann making pizza in the My Mini. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, okay. So we talked about this is how you cook. You have little mini stoves and things that you plug in. How do you keep things powered while you're on the road? Because I'm sure your car doesn't keep everything charged up.
Well, it kind of does. I have a Bluetti AC 180. It's 1800 watt power station, and that I can charge with solar panels, or the car I can charge when I drive using the DC to DC charger that I have on the car battery. And that has USB outlets, it has AC outlets, it's got the 12 volt cigarette lighter port, and and I plug my fridge into that, and I plug my mini dashes and my mini into the AC outlets on the Bluetti.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So you have a friend that comes to you and she says, Renee, I'm really, really thinking about doing this. What would be your advice to that person?
You got to do it. Just do it. Don't think about how you're going to do a build out or anything like that. Get your basic living supplies, get a place to sleep, a place to go to the bathroom, and a way to eat. And that's really all that you need to start out with. As you do it more and more, you'll learn what supplies you need to have, and then you can get them at that time, because when you're first starting, you don't really know what you're going to need. I've got so much stuff that I bought. We all do it.
Right.
Everyone hears this advice. Don't buy a lot of stuff. Everybody hears it. And we all still just go buy a whole bunch of stuff because we see a video and we think, oh, I need that gadget.
Right.
And we go and get it, and come to find out we don't even really use it half the time. So I say don't buy a lot of stuff. Just get on the road with only what you need, and then figure out as you go along what items you're going to need.
Add to it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So now, is this something you think like you're going to do for the rest of your life, or do you have a time scale to say, you know what, I just want to do this for this amount of time and then I'm good?
I don't have a time frame. I'm just going to do it for,
So I don't want to do it anymore.
until I don't want to do it. Yeah.
That's awesome. That is unbelievable. Of all the places that you've been and the things that you've seen, what is the one place that is like, when I went there, it was amazing? Whether you would go there again, it was just the one that stood out for you. And why?
There was a beach in Texas. There were a couple of beaches in Texas. I can't even think of the name of the beach now. I really need to remember it. And when you came into this beach, you first come over this big hill, and the hill drives down and drives straight into the beach. And as you go in, all I saw were just ocean waves. It was the most beautiful sight. It was a beautiful sunny day, and the ocean waves were just rolling in. And you can drive your vehicle right up on the beach, right up to the shoreline if you want to.
Goodness,
it was beautiful.
Okay,
I'm going beautiful.
Next year. I'm going next year.
It was beautiful. Beautiful.
Wow, that is truly, truly amazing. So now you got on the road and you started having this experience. What made you start your podcast? Like, why start a podcast with us?
Why did I start my YouTube channel? I kind of felt like, well, my sister told me that I need to document my travels if I'm going to be doing all of this. And I have grandchildren that need to see what it is that I'm doing.
Her sister Carla.
My sister Carla, who this is her house.
That would be me.
That would be her. And she's the one that told me that I need to document. And so when I left the first year that I was traveling in my van, when I went to Florida, I didn't take any video, any footage. I didn't document anything. I was too scared. And I was hanging with Lulu, and she said, you should just do it. Just do it. It's going to be horrible at first. Just do it. So when I got back home, I finally got up enough courage to just do a van tour video of living in my van for the last 3 months. And what a mess I made of that van and a mess of that video. But it was the start. It's like, I cringe when I look at that video.
Right. But you did it. And you continue to do it. So, like, let everybody know now, like, up to date today, how many viewers do you have for your channel?
I am so excited. I have over 3,000. I have 3,100 plus subscribers. Yeah.
That's amazing. Did you ever imagine that, like, Renee would get on here and have that many people want to hear what you have to say?
No. I didn't. And it goes in spurts. It's really funny how it works, because when I was in the fall, when I was in Texas, I hadn't hit quite 2,000. And then in Texas, I hit that 2,000 mark and beyond. And this year I was in Florida, and I hit that 3,000 mark while I was in Florida. It was just amazing. It was amazing. I don't even know what to say. I have the best subscribers is all I can
Oh, we
say. I have the
love
best.
that. And thank you all for supporting my cousin. We just love that for her. So Renee, I don't know if people know how old you are, or whether you're a mom or a grandmother or anything like that. But what does your family feel about you doing this? Specifically, your children, because that's always your direct.
I have 5 adult children, and for the most part, they support me. If you've been following along, you know that my sons have helped me with my van build. My son-in-law has helped me. I mean, they say that I'm weird that I want to travel in a car, but they don't try to talk me out of it. They let me know that I need to stay safe, and and my daughter Lauren, who is here, hi Lauren, and my sister Carla both track me wherever I go. They have tracked me for years.
Right. Well, that's a good thing, right? Yeah. Somebody loves you and cares that you're out there and you're doing this. I agree with you. Like, our family members don't always understand it, but it is important that they support it, to say, this is your life to live. And if it's making you happy, people who love you are on the bandwagon with that. I may not want to get my car and do it, but like the freedom and the smile that I see on your face right now, just talking about it, says that you've made the right decision.
Right.
How does that feel, to know that you've done something that gives you this much joy? Like usually, I have a friend who's starting a podcast about being over 50. And over 50, we start to feel like, what am I going to do? How am I going to, continue my life, happiness? So how does it feel to know that you've discovered this thing that you love so much?
I still don't know how to feel about it. It's kind of a shock, because all these years we go to work, we raise our children, we take care of our parents, all these things that we do, and being able to just do what I want to do when I want to do it, that's like a whole new world. It takes getting used to. Yeah. It takes getting used to, because I still think about my kids back home, and even though they're all grown up, I still a little bit feel like they need me there.
Right.
Just a little. Just a little.
Yeah, they do. But we talk about all the time in the society of like the legacies that we leave, right? And a lot of times people talk about, I'm leaving my kids money, or I'm leaving them this. But one of my big things, and I think that definitely just seeing your face that you're doing, is showing your children that I'm leaving the legacy of joy. Like, no matter what people think.
Yeah, because I'm not leaving no money. I'm going to spend it all.
But they may think I'm weird. They may think I'm off. But your children will be able to say, I don't care what you say about my mom. She did something that made her so happy. And according to your followers, it makes other people happy too. Yeah. So how does that feel? Like, no, I'm at least leaving that type of legacy. Like, do what you want to do.
Yeah. It's kind of been how my life has been up to this point. I mean, I worked 30 years for Department of Social Services, and so I was always trying to do things that would help people out. Right. So I feel like doing these videos helps people get the courage to get on the road and just start. It helps people see what kind of items, what kind of gadgets I have in my car, to give them an idea of what they can use in their vehicles. I talk about where I sleep, so it gives people ideas of where they can sleep for free.
And we just learned a new one. Park and rides are great.
Park and rides are free. I had forgotten about the park and rides. So yeah, I'm going to be checking those out too in my upcoming journeys.
Gotcha. So now, thinking of your podcast moving forward, what are some of the things, like, you've done, okay, this is what a van build out looks like, and this is where I sleep, and things like that. This next year, when you get back on the road, what are some of the things you want to share with your viewers?
Well, I'm going to do a little bit of redesign in my van. Just a little bit. It's still going to be your basic, your bed, your kitchen, your bathroom. But I need better counter space. So I'm going to put some sort of cabinetry in there. But I need to go to all the states. That's really what a goal is of mine, is to go to all the states.
So is that what a lot of your podcasts will focus on, like visiting those states and sharing people, what you love about that state and what you learned about that state?
Right. Yeah. Like yeah. It's gonna, I've done a little bit of it up to this point. But I've been doing a lot of women's van life meetups. So a lot of videos that I have are about the meetups, but I also have gone to different locations. When I was last year, I went to a place in New Hampshire. It called itself America's Stonehenge, which I thought was very cool. So there was a lot of information about that location. And, when I was in Florida, I went to DeLand and I did a little thing about their little Friday night artisan alley that they do every Friday night. And that stuff is so cool. And I want to try to continue to learn about places. I went to the lighthouse in Michigan, and I talked about how that lighthouse was, how that came to be, and so on. And so I like to give a little bit of the history or talk about the area where I am, just to give the viewers an idea of what the place is like.
Right. So in the places that you've traveled to, you talked about Texas being the most beautiful, the way it went up on the beach. What place have you gone to where you enjoyed the people the most?
Oh, that's kind of tough, because I've met a lot of women at van life meetups.
Right.
I love all those women. They're so brave. They're shining lights.
Shining lights.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm more thinking of not necessarily people that you meet from meetups, because they come from all over the world, right, to come together. But have you been to any place yet where it's like the people here, like I went to this restaurant in Connecticut and this lady was just, the way she greeted me. Have you met people along the way to say, when I stopped here, like these people were just so open? Or has it been more of the meetups?
It's mostly meetups.
Okay.
Where I'm meeting people. If you're talking about people that I run into when I go to gas stations or go shopping, everyone's been very friendly. I have not yet run into anybody that's been really rude. I was somewhere recently, and I can't for the life of me remember now where I was, but the people that worked in the establishment were not rude, but they weren't nice either. It just didn't give me a feel-good vibe.
Right.
But
gotcha.
That was...
It's hard to be mean to someone who's always smiling.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So before I ask any other questions, I'm going to put it out here to your viewers. Do you guys have any questions for her about these 2 years that she's been on the road, the places that she's been, how she's living? Is there anything that you want to know about Renee? And maybe it's not about her van travels. Maybe it's just about Renee in general. Like, who is she? So Renee, do you want to tell people how old you are?
Oh, it's very simple. I'm 60. I turned 60 in February, and I'm loving it.
That is amazing. Yes. You do not look 60 at all.
I am embracing it. I was worried about what it was going to be like to be old, but I never felt like I was grown up until I turned like 55. So...
So what's it feel like to be an adult now?
now I'm all grown up, and I think you get a certain air about you. Not that it's negative. It's just that you're grown up, and you don't have to take any kind of guff from anybody.
Right.
You're all grown up. You're not a child. People don't talk to you like that.
Right.
I expect, especially from younger people, to be given respect. As an older person, like I did when I was coming up.
Right.
So, it doesn't always happen, but... It's how I feel.
Yeah, it's more of a confidence, right?
Yeah,
Like, I've
yeah.
lived long enough
Yeah.
to know some things about myself and be assured about those things.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. I love it.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we do have one question that came in. This is, would you be willing to come back to Florida in October?
Oh, maybe, but I don't know where I'm going to be in October. October is a little early, I think, to go to Florida. Especially because I like to spend the whole winter there. It's not so terrible in the Northeast in October where I have to leave, like I have to get out. When I left in December, I had to get out, but October isn't always like that.
Right.
I mean, we do get snow sometimes in October, but it's not always horrible.
All right, so just to give you a few, Kate Morgan said, I turned 60 in January. Congratulations. And Kate Castle said, I like the local parks you go to. And is the DC Charger working well for you?
The DC Charger has been fantastic. I have had zero issues with it so far. You turn the car on, it starts charging, and you always have a full battery. I have not pulled out my solar panels, not one time.
Awesome. All right, I'm just looking through to see if you have any other questions that we can answer. And then My Enchanted Van Cottage says, it's never too early to come to Florida, Renee, when you have your friends that live and love you.
That's true, Julia. That's very true. Yeah, my timing is sometimes bad. I wanted to visit a friend in North Carolina, and my timing was off. And we had talked about it in advance, but my timing was off, and my friend was not home. And I wanted to visit friends in South Carolina. They were not home. So yeah, I mean, when you have a lot of friends who like to van camp, they might not be home when you get there.
Yeah,
so
that is true. That is true. I never even thought about it like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we want to do all 50 states. So what are the next 5 states you want to go to?
Oh my gosh. I've never been to Maine.
Okay.
So I'd like to go to Maine.
And why Maine?
Because I've never been there.
Okay.
And there's a park. They have a national park there, the Acadia National Park, that I'd like to see. Let me see. Connecticut. I've never been. I want to do a New England thing.
Okay.
I've been to Massachusetts. I lived in Rhode Island for a while. I still want to go back to Rhode Island. In fact, Carla was born in Rhode Island. So let's see. And I've been to New Hampshire and Vermont. Beautiful, beautiful states. I'm not sure what the next 5 states. I want to do a Great Lakes tour. So yeah, so there's those states.
Have you done West Coast yet?
I have not done West Coast.
Okay.
My idea about going to the West Coast is that it's going to take a year, because I'm going to hit a lot of states on the way there, because I'm going all the way across the country. There's going to be a lot of states. It's going to be probably some zigzagging before I finally get to where I'm going on the West Coast. So I'm thinking that's going to be a year-long journey.
Okay, so Kate Morgan says, I live in Maine and Carr. And then Happy Adventurous Life says,
Happy Adventurous Life!
She says, how about
Randy?
Washington State?
Oh, I'd love to go to Washington State. I'd love to go.
She said she'll be there till December.
Is that where you are now? Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. I can't wait to get there. People say that it's like rainy in Seattle and all of that, and I understand that, and I'm used to rain because it rains where I live too, like a lot. So, but I would love to go to the West Coast. I want to see mountains and all that kind of stuff. Grand Canyon, everything.
Awesome. So I have a question here. This is actually from your granddaughter. How many nights do you usually stay in the van at a time without staying with friends or family?
Well,
Question, yeah.
I've actually done a lot. Like I was in Florida. Well, I stayed with some friends when I was in Florida, but for the most part, I was in the van most of the time. Most of the time, so I can stay in the van several weeks at a time without having to go stay with friends or family. There's no need to stay with friends or family because everything I need is in the van, and I can go to Planet Fitness for showers.
Awesome, awesome. So you have a couple of friends that are down with a California, Maine, and Washington State trip. Your Enchanted Van Cottage, Happy Adventurous Life. Karen Costa said, "Thank you for letting her know about the DC Charger." And then we have Brooks and Bridges who says, "I want to go through Washington State. Let's do it."
Oh, we can do it, Cheryl. We definitely can do it. We got to make a plan, but that's a long.
It's not as long as you did. My daughter and I did California to Jersey in 4 days.
Well, it's not. When I do West Coast, I'm going to take a long time to get there. So, I don't know. I'd love to do it. I don't want to just do a quick trip out and then come back. I'm going to see a lot of things.
Well, Val Gal and the Kit Kat says, "Come out to SoCal. We could do a caravan." And then she said, "The high desert or on the eastern Washington is dry and hot."
Okay.
So, yep,
okay.
So a caravan being offered to do that with.
Okay.
Okay. And then Mysterious Seven, Carla says, "What do you like to do for entertainment when you're on the road?"
Oh my gosh. Well, I like hanging out on the beach. There's so much entertainment you can find on the beach. When I was with my friends, you may have seen in some of the videos, we would dance and sing on the beach and just have a good time. Being on the beach and people watching is the best. It's the best. Yeah.
So I have a question. So in your meetup groups, and this is only something that we ask because we're culturally aware of people, right? Are there a lot of African American women doing this?
I'm going to say the number is growing.
Okay.
There was not when I first started. When I got to the meetup, the first meetup in Florida, I was wondering that same question: how many women of color were going to be there? And imagine my surprise when I met Cheryl from Brooks and Bridges, and we have become great friends since then. And it's been growing and growing and growing. Every time I go, there's more and more and more women of color that are out here doing the van life.
What do you think was a holdup for us? What do you think held us back from just jumping out there and doing it?
Well, I can tell you, when I started looking at YouTube videos and things like that, I didn't see any people of color living on the road. I know that they're out there, but those videos would not come up for me. And it wasn't until I started my own channel that I started seeing those videos. So I know that they're out there, and I know that the number is growing.
Right. So Diane Colon says, "How about Latino women? Are there many out there of Latino women?"
They are out there. They are out there. One of my very first friends that I met when I was out there, her name was Maria, and she had a spot next to me, and actually my cousin Aisha, when we went down to Florida. And
hi, everybody.
We're going to get your face in here before we're done. But yeah, I've got Amelia Garcia. Are you here? Because you chit chat with me all the time.
Yeah, don't see her yet.
Okay.
So here's another question, and I guess people are always interested, or we like to know about diversity, and we also always want to see ourselves. So the other question came in. I'm going to ask this one in two parts, even though she asked it in one. Are there disabled women? And then nextly, are there disabled women of color?
Yes and yes. That's the short answer. There are women that come out with all different kinds of medical ailments that, I mean, it runs the gamut. You can Grammy, where are you?
I did see her.
Tracy came out, and Tracy probably should have been in a hospital. But Tracy came out with her oxygen tank and a boot on her ankle, and she had fun at the meetups, just like everybody else. Yeah, we watch out for each other when we're out there, and we take into consideration that people may have some sort of ability that prevents them from doing stuff that able-bodied people can do. And I know that's not the right terminology, but they know their illness well enough to know what they can handle and what they can't handle. Absolutely. And they come out and behave accordingly.
So I'm going to give you a comment that's on here, and then I have another question. Charlotte Perry says, hello from Alaska.
Oh, hi. Oh, my gosh. Hi, Alaska.
She says, one day I will be on the road, too. My husband is terminally ill, and you, Lulu, and the others give me hope and possibilities for the future. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. Oh, the possibilities are endless. I'm sorry to hear about your husband. But yeah, you're never too old. You're never too old to get out there. It's a state of mind. If you feel, you can do it, then you probably can do it.
Yeah. And I'll say this, she mentioned that I went out one time with her, and one of the biggest things is the camaraderie. So just to give you an example, Renee and I went, and we were the only two African-American women, but as far as how we were treated, there was no color disparage. These are women who have a commonality of we are on the roads by ourselves. Some of them are married where their husbands are at home. And so there is that bonding. So I would say to the young lady that is going through something with her husband is that bond with these women even before you get on the road, because they are at that age where they're familiar with loss and things like that. Right, so yeah, that would be my suggestion as well.
Yeah. We are all friends.
Yeah, absolutely. And she said, thank you for that. Grammy's view from my window says you couldn't be in a safer place.
That's right.
I totally agree.
That's right. Yeah. So I felt totally safe. Yeah.
Absolutely. So this brought me to one of my questions, and I just mentioned it, that there are not, you think, okay, there's single women out there who are on the road doing their thing. But I learned something when I was out there with you, that there are married women who leave their husbands at home to go travel on the road to be with these women who are enjoying the same adventures. So it's not just about being alone or lonely, but it's about maybe this is something that I really wanted to do and I did it anyway. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that. Yes, absolutely. There's lots of married women out there that their husbands, for the most part, all I've heard is that their husbands say, go for it, go enjoy yourself, go have a good time. So yeah, there's a lot of married women that come out and they come to the meetups, and maybe they don't travel for 5 months at a time like I do, but I don't have a husband at home, so it's easier for me to do that. But married women come out and they enjoy the meetups. They do weekend trips. And they do their own meetups. It doesn't have to be a big organized meetup. They do their own.
Right. So you just recently got a donation from My Enchanted Vantage. She says, I want you to know how much you mean to us. Your smile is infectious and your sweet, special spirit is infectious. I want you to know you mean the world to us. She gave a $19.99 donation.
Oh, thank you. You are my very first super chat. Very first.
Love it. Thank you so much for supporting our family. Miss question mark MS says, I'm stuck on getting a small cargo van or full size. It is a big purchase. I don't want any regrets. I plan on spending hopefully 80% of time in the van. So she's not asking you anything, but what would you say to her? Like, this person was about to make this big choice for her.
Oh, wow. When I started, all I had was an SUV. So I started in my SUV. There is a woman, I don't know if you know her channel or not, but it's Dion's Glamping Journey. If you're here, Dion. Dion is a van glamper that goes out in a different vehicle every time she goes out. And she rents, and she has a vehicle at home, but it's old and it's going to need to be replaced. So she is renting different kinds of vehicles and traveling to see how she likes how they work. So that would be one. If you don't have a van yet and you're trying to figure out what size to get, I would say just rent them and go out, for overnight or for a weekend and see what it's all about, and try and decide what kind of vehicle you want from there.
Absolutely. That sounds like great advice. Okay, so you have about 10 more minutes to your show, right? And so we've asked you a lot of questions and we've kind of dug a little deep. Is there anything that you would like to share that's on your heart with your followers, about your experience?
I just appreciate all the support that my subscribers have given me up until this point. I did not expect it. I didn't expect anyone to watch my videos. In fact, even my children don't watch.
Except they do.
Except now, my daughter Lauren, who's in the chat somewhere, told me today that she finally started watching my videos and that she was coming to the live tonight. So thank you, Lauren. I love you. But the support that I've gotten from everybody has been the biggest surprise. I had no idea. And I know the channel is little by little growing, and that's just blowing my mind. It's just, and when people say, oh, I like that video about such and such, and a lot of times I'm like, really? I really had a hard time with that video. Or, oh, I didn't really like that video. I don't always like the videos that I put out, but you guys seem to like what I don't like. And that's why I keep putting it out, because your opinion means more.
Absolutely. So if you were going to sum all this up, right? Like not even just the van life, but the podcast or starting anything at this age, something new that is scary or challenging or whatever it is, what would you say to not just women, but specifically women, but what would you say to anybody that's like, I want to do something new and I'm just afraid to try?
The fear will paralyze you. You need to push through the fear.
And your grandbaby's watching you. I just want to say that.
Oh, my grandbaby. Hi, my. I am afraid to get on the highway and drive, but I do it anyway. I can feel the nervousness in my stomach, and I grip that steering wheel sometimes. A lot of times I get someplace and my arms are tired because I've been holding that steering wheel. But if I let the fear hold me back, I'd be sitting in my bedroom watching TV, dreaming about going places. I want to go to these places, and I can't let the fear stop me. And if you are afraid of something, don't what if everything to death. What if my car breaks down? What if I, run into, problems on the road? What if? Now, if you guys watch Lulu's Way, and you know that she talks about probabilities and possibilities. Anything is possible. Anything. It is possible that your car is going to break down in the middle of nowhere and you won't have cell service and can't reach. It is possible, but is it probable? If you take care of your car, it's not probable.
Absolutely.
But it's things like that. We always tend to imagine worst case scenario, and that keeps us from doing something that we might want to do. That's all imaginary. It may not actually manifest. So what I found is I've gone out, I've been afraid to get in the car and go to someplace, but I do it anyway. And I get there, I have a blast. I couldn't have had a better time. So you're only cheating yourself if you're letting the fear win.
Absolutely. So, let me see. My Enchanted Van Cottage says, watch lots of videos to make sure you have what you need. Then know those women in those videos had that fear too. Renee said it best. Don't what if, don't let the fear stop you.
That's right.
And then also Happy Adventurous Life said, I think it's because you give us the real you. That's what your followers like about you. I would definitely agree.
Yeah.
Definitely agree. All right. So we've been with them about 55 minutes now. I'm going to just let you go ahead and close out your show. And thank you so much for sharing all of this with us.
Yes. I totally appreciate you guys tuning in and supporting me and just doing just being you, making your comments and just being here with me. It's like you guys are here with me when I read your comments, and you make a note that says, "Oh, I felt like I was in the car with you." Love it, because I feel like you're here with me too. I haven't done this recently, and I'm not sure why this isn't giving me everything on my channel, but I have the spotlights for my channel. And here in community. And these are, the spotlight are people that have done a lot of interaction with me lately, or are very new, but are already pretty active in the chat. And I can say Suzette Scott. She's one of our spotlights on the YouTube. Roller Hop Girl, one of these days we have to hook up. Roller Hop, I love that you are here in the community spotlight. And let's see. And this is a good longtime supporter who lives in my neck of the woods. She's in Western New York. Jojo B, it's been a minute. How you doing? And there is Cynthia, who's pretty new. She's got 4 comments on the channel so far, and she's been getting into it. And I don't know if I'm going to say this right, Christiane. Christiane's in the spotlight for this week too. So I'm not sure if it's Christiane or Christian, but it looks like Christiane. So I thank you guys for your support. You guys are all in the spotlight. The spotlight changes every week. I probably should be doing that once a week in a video somewhere, but eventually I'll get around to it.
I have a couple more comments for you I want to follow up with. Attitude of Gratitude says, don't let the fear stop you, just like a Marvel superhero. Thanks, Renee.
Yes.
The Series 7 says, my sis is crushing van life. Jamie Normandin says, I enjoy your videos. Try not to miss any of them.
Oh, thank you,
Karen Castle says, thank you. I hope to meet you when you're back in Central New York. And then Val Gal and the Kit Kat says, love you, Renee. Love you, Julia. Best of everything to everyone.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Let's see if we have anything else here.
I love you guys.
Your mom says, great job, Renee, Aisha, and Carla. Proud of y'all.
Aww.
My Enchanted Van Couch says, love you too, Val. Give my kitties kisses and help the poor little ones next door.
Aww.
And then we have a thank you, Mysterious 7 for support. And so those are your comments for your show.
Oh, I thank you guys so much. Thank you very much for tuning in. I do have, just so that you know, I've got a Spread Shop store in case you want to get any items there. I'm in the process of designing, creating some stickers. So those are going to be coming up in the near future. And the Spread Shop store, you can get t-shirts and mugs and all those designs I created myself. Some are good, some are really good, some are not so good. So you decide. And I have also, as Julia just demonstrated, I have super chats. super thanks. I have gifts, all of that kind of thing. And it's all part of the YouTube channel, super stickers. So if people are asking for ways to support me monetarily, it's not really necessary. But if you feel that you must, there's the Spread Shop store and the supers. I don't have a button for buy me a coffee. I haven't figured out how to do that yet. One of these days, I may do that, but it's not a priority for me. It's not necessary for you to give me money, but if you want to, I will take it.
Mama didn't bring the food.
So that's all I have for now. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope to see you in the next video. I am uploading a video now. I don't know why it's taking forever to get uploaded, but it is. And I have another video that I have to edit and upload. And I will see you guys on the road, or down the road, I should say. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Bye. Camille. Are you there, Camille? Thanks for watching, Camille.
And all of your friends are saying, hi, Camille. We love you too, sis.
Yes. I'm all set. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.